Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to cross the water and head to Denmark once again, and we're going to revisit a brewery who are quite rightly very highly rated amongst Danish craft beer lovers. So we're going to go to Indslev Bryggeri once again, and we're going to have a taste of another beer from the Ugly Duck Brewing Company range. This one is the Amarillo and Citra IPA. This one is maybe the 5th or 6th beer that I've tried from the Ugly Duck series. I've also done 2 from the Indslev range for you as well, and both of the ranges are very, very good. But a big thank you to Mike and Anders at Indslev Bryggeri for sending me these beers. Very, very kind of them, and thank you for the support for the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy the reviews. But this one should be very interesting. It uses 2 of the kind of old school, quite classic American hops, 2 of the most flavourful ones in my opinion, and it's rated very highly. It's rated at 92 on Rate Beer, so this one should be a very, very good one for us to try. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual websites are in the video description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews, both from Indslev and from Ugly Duck. Both websites are there as well, incidentally, and there's all the usual social media, Facebook, Twitter and Untappd, so please follow me on there. Your support would be much appreciated, and if you want to see more beer reviews, just subscribe to the channel. There's quite a few Danish ones down there as well, and I will apologise in advance for any bad Danish pronunciations in this video. I'm still trying to get a hold of Swedish a little bit, so Danish will take just a little bit longer than that, unfortunately. So please bear with me in the meantime. But anyway, to tell you about Ugly Duck. Ugly Duck Brewing is one of the brands, like I told you, by Indslev Bryggeri, who are based in Nørre Aaby near Middelfart on the island of Fyn in Denmark. If you just go to the island where Copenhagen is, that's Sjælland. Go to the next big one along to the west, and that is Fyn. And if you go to the northwest corner of there, that is where you're going to find Nørre Aaby. So the Indslev Brewery has its roots that trace back to the year 1897, but they reopened as a modern brewery back in 2006, and since 2012 they've also been producing these beers, the Ugly Duck Brewing Company range. But the brewery is owned by Anders Rasmussen, whose great-grandfather Frederick actually built the brewery back in 1897, and both of them grew up on the family farm, which is right next to the brewery, of course. The brewery building is actually part of the family farm, incidentally. But Indslev were actually the first modern brewery in Denmark to specialise in the brewing of wheat beer, and they remain the only brewery to do so in Denmark today. But the desire to brew the more kind of American and more modern style beers, I guess you could call them, was what led them to found the Ugly Duck range. So the 2 brewers at the brewery are Stefan Peter Stadler, who is from Munich, and he graduated as a brewer from the Hofbräu School, very prestigious organisation of course, but he's worked in many German and quite a few Danish breweries as well. And there's also Torben Steenholt, who worked previously for Vælge and Brockhaus breweries in Denmark. And the brewery building has actually been modernised and has a brew kit from Kasper Schultz in Bamberg in Germany. You all know Bamberg is a bit of a holy grail when it comes to German beer. That region in Franconia is very, very famous. A ridiculous number of breweries exist there. But there's quite a few beers from this brewery. As I said, you can check out the website in the description below and have a look at these, just to list a few of them for you. In the Indslev range, there's the Sortfede, which is the one I reviewed for you a little while ago. That is the black wheat beer. There's the Spelt Bock, the Påskefede, which is the Easter beer, Julefede, which is the Christmas one, Fede IPA, which is a really beautiful hybrid beer, the regular Fede, or the white wheat beer I guess you could call it, Fede Bock, which is a Weizenbock. They also have the Morkfede, which is the dark wheat, and they also have the lunch beer as well, which is called Frokost. In the Ugly Duck range, there's also quite an extensive range of beers. There's Imperial Vanilla Coffee Porter, which I've reviewed for you before. There's Hoppy Christmas, Rye Porter, which they kindly sent me one of, but unfortunately the bottle smashed, so I need to get another one. There's the Helmuth Keller beer, Miami Vice, which I'll review for you soon, Simcoe and Chinook IPA, Putin, which I will review for you as well, Nelson Pale Ale, Ugly Christmas, Hot Devil, which I'll review for you too, Foxy Brown, which is a very nice one, Papso in the Tropics, and there is also the Amarillo and Citra IPA, which is this guy here. So as I say, go and check out the brewery website and you can see all the different things that they do. They're quite a prolific brewery, and they're adding quite a few things as well. They do some special beers as well, and I've got another one of those to review for you in my cupboard behind me, so I'll be reviewing that for you sometime soon. But without further ado, let's actually get on to the tasting of this beer. So this one is a 6.0% IPA. As you may have guessed, it's hot with Amarillo and Citra, 2 of the kind of classic American hops. And it's got a malt base of Pilsner and caramel. On the back it says IPA, Amarillo and Citra. We love hops. It's as simple as that. A smooth and well balanced IPA, loads of hops using both Amarillo and Citra as late hops in combustion with dry hopping on a golden coloured malty background. Be sure to keep up with the brewer's latest news at uglyduckbrewing.dk and Facebook. So yeah, this is quite a simple statement on this one. The other ones do have a little bit more to them, but I'll let you have a look at the artwork quickly before we open this up. You can see there Quite simply presented. This one, the artwork that these guys produce is actually quite nice. It's a plain bottle cap, as it always is with Ugly Duck Brewery. I think the Indslev ones did actually have some patterns on them, but yeah, these guys produce some really nice beers. And the thing that I find with Ugly Duck Brewery is that their beers are a little bit, they're sort of like old school American craft beers. They're a little bit, maybe if you went back and tried American craft beer in the early 2000s, I think these are the sort of beers that these guys produce, and they do it very, very well. They like to use a lot of the old school hops, you know, Chinook, Amarillo, Citra, all of these sorts of things. They like to use these classic American hops, and they do it very, very well. I've enjoyed the IPAs and things that I've tried from this beer. The porters that they do as well are very, very nice, but they're a very good brewery, and you should check them out. The wheat beers as well from Indslev are really nice. They're very smooth and actually quite different in mouthfeel from their German equivalent, so you should check these guys out. So, as you can see, this beer's poured actually it's quite a nice, rich, orangey. It does have a little bit of a red kind of coppery tint to it actually, but it's a nice, rich, orangey amber colour. I'll just bring the light over and let you see that exactly. You can see there, it's a nice, rich, slightly reddish, coppery amber. There's a half finger of a frothy white head on this one. It looks very, very attractive. There's a few big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head. You can see if I put my fingers behind it, it does have a degree of transparency, but at the same time it is quite an opaque beer, and you can see quite a few little bubbles just heading up towards the underside of the head of this beer. It looks very, very nice. So let's give it a smell and see how we get on here. And it does have the typical elements you would expect. You can really smell that kind of tropical fruit bowl that you get from the Citra hop. The Citra hop gives you some really nice, quite complex tropical aromas. So without shaking this beer up, you can really you can get some of the nice orangey citrus that you would expect of the Amarillo hop. That's one of the trademarks of this one. If you sugar it up actually, it becomes quite a kind of dark, sort of grassy, wet grassy character that comes out of it. You can pick that up, but if you're just letting it sit steady, you can pick up the nice fruit aromas. And the typical tropical fruits from the Citra are in there as well. So there's some grapefruit and a bit of passion fruit as well. But underneath that you can pick up the apricots and the peaches, and maybe a little bit of the mango, those kind of juicier tropical fruits. There's definitely that sort of very distinctive peach aroma coming out of this one, but that's quite mild. It's more of a juicy, juicy tropical fruit you're getting out of this one. Maybe the mangoes and the apricots. The apricot's quite prominent as well. But there's a bit of floral and aromatic character coming out of this one. As I said, it's quite a dark, sort of wet, grassy character you get from this one, especially when you sugar it up like that. Yeah, it's quite an unusual aroma comes out when you sugar it up. So just give it a try and pick that up for yourselves. There's maybe a bit of spicy character to the floral aromaticity too, but underneath that you can pick up the sweet bready malts, and there's a bit of caramel in there too, but overall it smells like a very nice beer, it looks like a nice beer, so we'll get stuck into it now and see how we get on. So this is the Amarillo and Citra IPA from Ugly Duck Brewing Company, part of Indslev Bryggeri in Fyn in Denmark. Slange, skål. Now that one is quite nice. As I said at the start of the tasting section, these guys do they do quite an old school style of American brewing, and they do it very well. And this beer, you can really detect that. These are old school American hops, these ones, and they're very, very nicely done. The fruity character in this one's quite good. It's a bit more, it leans a bit more to the floral aromaticity. The floral aromaticity in this, you can feel it around the edge of the palate, and it's actually very dark and very wet, but it works quite well. And it just takes the palate a little bit of time to adjust and let all these fruity characters come out. So just sugar this beer around your mouth a little bit before you start dissecting the flavour too much. But yeah, this is very, very nice. So yeah, the middle of your palate is just blanketed with a very light bready character. There's some sweet caramel in there, maybe a little bit of biscuity flavour too, which is nice. There's a nice juicy orangey character as well, and you can feel that as you transition into the aftertaste, you can feel that orangey citrus just building in the flavour, and it becomes quite juicy. And you just get this juicy character that kind of spreads behind the front curve of your tongue there. It's really nicely done actually. On top of that, you're getting some of these nice tropical fruit flavours. As I said, with the Citra hop you can expect quite a bit of complexity. The grapefruit in this isn't too prominent. You're getting a wee bit of passion fruit out there, which is quite nice. The passion fruit is quite a juicy tropical fruit. That's what dominates a tropical fruit flavour for me, but you can pick up some of the other more complex notes in there. There's a bit of the apricots, the mangoes, the peaches. You can detect all of those elements in there, and there is a bit of a floral aromatic character to this beer as well. Like I was saying, that oily bubble comes just behind the front curve of your tongue, but around the edges, that's where you'll expect the hoppy characters to come out, and the floral aromaticity is just coming out and sticking around the edge of the tongue there. You can feel that dryness building throughout this beer. But yeah, this is really quite nice. The flavours blend together quite well in this one. This is a, as I said, this is a kind of sort of old school IPA, if you like. And I've just realised, I've just read on the bottle there, it says it's 5.9%. I think I told you 6%, but it's 5.9% ABV, this beer. But yeah, this is a nice beer. That the malt character really fades in this one as you go through. There's just a very slight lingering bready kind of pale malt character to this one, and that dark floral aromaticity to this really lingers in the aftertaste there. But overall, it's another very, very nice beer from Ugly Duck Brewing Company. As I say, it uses these old school hops. You've got a nice fruit mix in there, but this dark floral aromaticity in this beer is what really lingers. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I'd say it's mid-bodied. The carbonation is quite smooth on this one. It's quite oily as well. You've got a good bit of juicy fruity character in there, particularly the tropical fruits, but also some of the orange flavour in there as well. But there's a big bitter and dry hoppy character to this one. As I said, that dark floral aromaticity is what lingers in the middle of the palate. And you do get a little bit of sweetness from the malt, but for me, it's these dry, bitter floral aromatic characters that really linger in this beer. And again, it's very nicely done. It's another really solid beer from Ugly Duck Brewing Company. I'd like to try the Simcoe one that they have that's very similar to this. That would be an interesting one to try, so I will need to see if I can get a hold of it. But yeah, this is another really good beer from Ugly Duck Brewing Company. As I said, their IPAs tend to be a little bit more old school, if that makes sense. They like to use the old school American hops, and they do it very well. This is another solid IPA from these guys. So if you get the chance, give it a try. If you have tried the beer before, let me know in the comment section below your own thoughts on it. Always interesting to hear from you guys your own thoughts on these beers. And do let me know where you're trying these beers as well. It'll be interesting to see how far and wide they're actually making these things. But yeah, as I say, let me know in the comment section below. Until the next beer review, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Go and check out my social media things. Let me know your own thoughts on the beer. Go and check out Ugly Duck and Indslev Bryggeri. They produce some pretty awesome beers. It's a good place to start actually if you want to try some Danish beer. So yeah, thank you for watching my beer reviews, and I will catch you soon with the next one. Thank you again to Ugly Duck Brewing Company and Indslev Bryggeri for sending me this beer. Go and check out their stuff, and I'll catch you soon. I'll be back with more Ugly Duck reviews, and there's a few more Indslev ones to do for you soon as well. Slàinte just now, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.